It's showtime, baby. Let's go. Woo! Welcome to the show. This is Sports with Strawberry Ice. I'm your host, Iceman Jeff Trunapole, and as always, I bring you sports from a West Side point of view right here in the great city of Cincinnati, Ohio, home of our very own wrestler from the Street Profits, Angelo Dawkins. He's going to be at WrestleMania this weekend. He's not on the show, unfortunately, but do me a favor, if you found the show, hit that like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. You guys are awesome on this glorious Thursday, April the 4th. About 10 days away from my birthday. 2024. If you found the show, hit the like and subscribe button. Smash that thumbs up. I'm live streaming on ZTV Online, YouTube, which I have 2,520 subscribers, Facebook, X, Rumble, Twitch, and if you're checking it out on the podcast or you want to listen to it back on the podcast, it's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcast. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. And with this crazy-ass weather we've had in the last 48 hours, we've literally, since Monday, it was 70, then it was freezing, then it snowed, then it rained, then it hailed. You want to make sure you got some really good doors and windows. I recommend Meyer Doors and Window. I got them in my house, and it's been nice and toasty warm in here when it was freezing, nice and cool when it was warm. It's perfect. Meyer Doors and Window. They do a great job. Family owned and operated. You can find them at www.meyercincy.com. Easy to clean. Installation in one day. Check them out. Please go use Meyer Door and Window. And, of course, the best barbecue joint in the city of Cincinnati, my opinion. Now, like I said, I am a West Sider. Proud West Sider. But my favorite barbecue joint is Midwest Best. They're out there on the east side, Ward's Corner exit. Make sure you guys go check it out there this weekend. Go get your CTB wing. Go get some Uno wings, G-Funk, pulled pork sandwiches, all kinds of stuff. And it also says it's Midwest Best Barbecue and Creamery. So they have ice cream too. So make sure you check it out. My West Side peeps. The Reds are off to a great start. They're off tonight, but they'll be back in action tomorrow night. If you're not going down to the game, head on over to Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. It's a awesome little sports bar right in the heart of Cheviot. They have a giant-ass TV screen, beer specials, great bartenders, awesome area. Make sure you check it out. Hail Mary's, your ticket to the game. And as always, I'm coming to you live from this glorious place down here. It's the Ice Cave. The Ice Cave is brought to you by T Properties. T Properties, quality housing for quality people. Check out the website at www.tpropertiesllc.com for all your rental property management needs and your rental needs. And you know what? I wear it almost every day. He's coming back. He's focused. Jackpot Joey, baby. Joe Burrow is coming back. Keep it better than ever. Make sure you guys are ready to go with your Jackpot Joey gear for the NFL season and the NFL draft coming up. So a portion of the proceeds go to the Joe Burrow Foundation. What is up to everybody in the chat? We got Stranger in there, Brad's in there, T-Bo's in there, Rocket Bengal, Robert, Paul, Andrew, Austin. What is going on? We are talking WrestleMania, baby. So are you part of the Bloodline or are you one of the Codey crybabies? Let's get to my first guest of the day. He was down there at the Reds opening day with me. We did a great broadcast. We did an awesome broadcast. Nobody could hear us, but I think we did a hell of a job. He's Tim Daniel. What's up, Tim?
What's up, buddy? How are you? That was a fantastic introduction.
No, hey, we kicked ass down there. I don't care what anybody says. Nobody can hear us, but we did awesome out there in front of the Moorline House. It was so much fun.
Yeah, it was awesome. Shout out everyone that stopped by at Moorline. That was great. Obviously, we started the good vibes for the Reds at 1 o'clock on opening day. That was us.
It's all us. Duh. All right, let's get to my next guest. He is Tyler Stone. What's up, Tyler? How you doing, brother? Uh-oh, can't hear you.
Up.
There you go.
Sorry, my bad. I got an intro. I'm excited.
I do always do intros. That's just kind of my thing.
Awesome.
But let's get to. I'm very happy. I've been trying to get this guy on for a couple months now. He's a very busy man. He's known for a comedian and some kind of shirts, like Cincy shirts or some kind of shirts like that. I don't know. You guys might have heard of him. He's Josh Sneed. Josh, what is going on, my man?
How you guys doing?
Good. So you volunteered to enter the show when we're talking WWE wrestling, and this is the weekend of WrestleMania. Now, when it started back in 1985, it was like, one day, one event. Now it's like a whole freaking weekend. I mean, the Reds literally could not play. If the game got rained out yesterday, they literally could not play the game in Philadelphia today because of WrestleMania that's going on this weekend. I mean, can you guys, I'll just ask to go around the room here. Can you guys believe how big this has gotten in 40 years? Yeah, so are you, Tim?
No, it's pretty amazing, right? I mean, I was like, look at this. So I watch every year around this time. I watch WrestleMania 10 and I watch WrestleMania 17. And WrestleMania 17, if you remember at the time, just felt like it was like the biggest thing of all time. Little do we know, 23 years later, it's 2 nights. Uh-huh. It's bigger and bigger. And this card especially is unbelievable because there's not a single match in this card where I'm like, I can do without that.
Right.
Everything, I'm like, this is great. Everything looks good.
Exactly. Tyler, what do you got?
Kind of same way. It's that's because the wrestling fan, special time of year. And if you talk about watching WrestleMania's over, the big one is like WrestleMania 8 is me. Mm-hmm. That was like that was the first one I ever saw in its entirety. Parents let me buy it. God, where to start with that? I mean, just, Savage, Flair, the whole Bret Hart Piper match. It's just, the whole thing is just special to me. So
now, Josh, I know you're coming in. You're coming in on the show kind of blind. Not I won't say blindsided, but you have a little bit of wrestling knowledge. You said you had some pretty cool wrestling stories. I know you remember back in '85 with Hulkamania and all that stuff. I mean, how? Oh yeah. Are you got any wrestling stories, or how surprised are you how big this has gotten?
I'm not surprised, only because even though I don't keep up with it as much as I used to, I have friends in the industry. My fantasy football league was named after a deceased wrestler friend of ours, which I can get into in a minute. But I was actually at New Orleans. What was that? Probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
32.
Right. And it was incredible. And I got to actually see, you get a real appreciation when you're there of how big it is, because you realize it's not just one day. We did the Rocon and autographs and photos and that whole thing. And then, we did the NXT show the night before. And then, of course, WrestleMania on that Sunday. And it was even bigger than I could have dreamed. And I'm a grown man who's seen a lot of cool stuff.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you. But my daughter goes, Dad, you could be 49 here. You're still into wrestling? Yes, I'm still into wrestling. I mean, it's like, honestly, I've gotten more into it the last probably 6 months than I had in a while, because like the Attitude Era was awesome. I loved the Attitude Era. It was so much fun.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I mean, Stone Cold, The Rock, D-Generation X, I mean, The Nation, those guys were awesome. And then it kind of went down. I mean, Cena, I liked Cena. And people can make fun of me for that. I like Cena, but I didn't get to the point where I watched it all the time. Now it's getting to the point where like the cool thing, like they're doing stuff like it's off the air, like back in Raw. Like, oh my goodness, Stone Cold drove a beer truck to the arena. And we gotta go, we're out of time. And then back then we had to wait until next week to see what happened. Now it's on the internet, and Rock's out there beating the shit out of Cody Rhodes with his weight belt. People going, oh my God, is that real? And I'm like, that's the Attitude Era. We're like, did they really mean to do that? And that's what they're getting to. That's what getting me excited about this.
It has those vibes.
Yeah.
I would say, truthfully, I think the direction we're kind of going right now with the product might end up surpassing the Attitude Era.
Oh, dude, it's more. They're in the billions right now as far as money.
Not even financially. I think the storylines just make more sense, because for every Attitude Era thing of like, there's Rock Austin WrestleMania 15, Rock Austin WrestleMania 17. There's Mark Henry get a May undo birth to a hand. There's no hand.
Yeah, that one was dumb. I never did like that one.
Yeah,
there were some storylines.
There's no Ken on a cell in 2024. So.
There's some storylines like. What the hell is? I was like, what the hell is that? The chat is blowing up. I appreciate it. I'm trying to get to some of these here. Tyler, what's your thoughts on? Well, let's put it this way: Are you for the WrestleMania? Are you a Bloodline guy, or are you a Codey crybaby?
Weighted question. I got to go with Cody. Cody's always got Cody's got that history with his dad and got to finish the story. I mean,
exactly.
It's kind of like I could just. It's just gonna be fun to watch. It says that both nights everything's gonna be. It has the possibility to be probably the best WrestleMania in recent memory. I'm looking forward to it.
Exactly. Now, there's some comments in here that the Kelsey boys. I said we'll go back and forth, but the Kelsey boys are doing their podcast and doing it at Nippert, and they just announced that Jackpot Joey is going to be there. Which I'm like, dude, why don't you just come on my show? I don't understand why you want to go on Travis's show, but I mean,
what's he done?
Right, exactly. What's Travis done compared to Strawberry Ice? I mean, give me a break here. Like, are you? I'm like, I'm not gonna be in town for it, so I won't be going. But if you guys have any desire to go to see that, and they're charging like $100. I think a seat is like the cheapest I've seen. And somebody put in there that Joe should slap Travis, just because. Josh, what's your thoughts on Joe Burrow being on the Kelsey Brothers podcast?
It's weird. I mean, if you want to put it in wrestling parlance, it's like your two favorite wrestling enemies like having lunch together. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather just assume that they hate each other's guts and don't want anything to do with each other, because it just adds to how much fun I have watching the games. But like wrestling, you see these people in an airport and you're like, I thought you two didn't get along.
Right.
But I guess they do, and I guess they're allowed to have their lives out of the what their job is.
Did you ever see Bigger, Stronger, Faster? That documentary about like steroid usage?
No.
Oh yeah.
The guy who's like the narrator talks about, he's like, he fell in love with wrestling because of Hulk Hogan and made him want to like do bodybuilding and lift weights, and he was like talked about the way that the glass shattered for him, that he realized the difference between the real and fake was, I shouldn't say fake, was that when Hacksaw Jim Duggan and Iron Sheik were feuding on television and got arrested together in a drug bust.
Yes, I did. I actually saw that. I forgot about that. I saw that I was watching Iron Sheik's documentary, and I actually forgot about that. they were feuding, and then they both got arrested for on drug charges. It's like, huh? And that was before everybody, didn't know it was scripted or whatever. But I think it's interesting now that it's like we're all in on it now. But the thing is,
look.
Good.
Let me ask you guys a question. Let me take over this podcast question, because I'm facing you guys' thoughts on this as someone who isn't currently up on all of the storylines. But was there a time in your life where you got out of wrestling a little bit and then came back to it? Mm-hmm. And then how does that, like, if you look at as a child being a fan and then as an adult being a fan, which do you enjoy more?
Ooh, that's great. That's loaded.
Well, I got it. I can do it real quick. So, well, not real quick, but I got it. So for me, kid, growing up, Hulk Hogan, and for WWE or WWF at the time, and then Flair and Sting in NWA at the time. That was, it's Hulkamania. You're a kid. Now you were so wrapped up in that. It was the 80s. Everybody was into that. I got drawn into it from Rocky III when I saw Thunder Lifts. And people were like, oh, hey, he's a real wrestler. I'm like, what? And then I started seeing him when Hulkamania started. So that happened from like 85 to like 90. And then I got into high school and stuff, and then I kind of got away from it. Hulk Hogan kind of had his run, and there wasn't anything weird that was gripping me. So the funny thing was, go about 20 years later, or however long, 15 years later, I got married, and in 97, and I was working down in Florida, and these guys I was working with, they were talking wrestling. I'm like, you guys still watch wrestling? Like, oh yeah, dude, you're not gonna believe this. I'm like what? They're like, Hulk Hogan's a heel. I'm like, what? I was like, Hogan's not a heel. Like, oh yeah. I was like, WWE. He's like, no, he's in WCW. I said, what the hell is WCW? He's like, well, it used to be NWA. I'm like, what? They're like, oh yeah, I knew about Raw. I mean, but I hadn't really got into it. So I'm like, oh, I gotta check this out. As soon as I watched it, dude, I was hooked. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. And then I would flip. Then it got the NWA or the NWO thing kind of got tiresome. Then I started flipping over to Raw, and that's when I saw Stone Cold and I saw DX, and I couldn't believe the shit they were saying on TV and the stuff they were doing. I'm like, oh my god! So for me, it's been more fun as an adult back then, the Attitude Era, because every week I was like, what the hell are they going to do? And almost every week I was shocked, and that's what was cool about it. Go ahead, Tim.
Yeah, so I was really into it, like everyone in the Attitude Era. When Brett got hurt after the Goldberg kick was kind of when I kind of like slowed down with it. And I probably didn't watch. I was kind of checking in every so often, but I wasn't into it like until probably about actually when I started really hanging out with Tyler a lot. Was really when I got right back
it's Tyler's
into
fault.
it.
It's all Tyler's fault.
So like 05, 06.
I'll take it.
Yeah, 05, 06, Mania 21, Mania 22 was like when I really got back into it. We got a pay-per-view here. We had Cyber Sunday that year, which was a thing for a short time. So I got to be in person to watch Ric Flair and Roddy Piper win the tag titles.
You got to be in person to see one of the few wrestling appearances of Mr. Britney Spears, Kevin Federline.
That's right.
Oh, you
Kevin
were
Federline,
there
you're up
for
to
that
the main
one?
event. Yeah.
Because I was there too. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
That was a cool match. It was like Booker T, Big Show, and Cena. And those when they're all three the world champs at the time.
Well, I actually went to the Cyber Sunday when they actually had it here in Cincinnati.
That's what we're talking about.
Oh, yeah, I was at that one. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I saw Flair too. That was the first time I got to see Flair and Piper in person. The only time. Like I saw Hogan. I remember my first one I ever went to. I saw Hogan versus the Earthquake down at the Coliseum. I still call it the Coliseum. First Star Center, US, whatever the hell you call it.
Whatever it's called now. Yeah,
whatever it's called now. It was Hogan versus Earthquake, and that was the first one I saw in person. And then when we got married and moved back up here, I had a couple, married couple friend of ours that liked it too. So me and my wife and those two would go to the shows when they were here. But watching Ric Flair was awesome. I mean, I hated him when I was younger. Couldn't stand him. But now that I'm older, I'm like, I respect the hell out of him. And the thing is, Josh, the shit he talked about, he did. That's what's messed up. The stuff he said on TV, they were real. He did that.
Yeah, just as a being a comedian and appreciating the art of improvisation and like the way that people can play a character. Like I have such a bigger appreciation now going down rabbit holes of like Arn Anderson promos and Ric Flair and Rock promos that was like the way that they executed them so perfectly and the timing and the tone. I mean, it's just, as a kid, you watch it and you're like, that's the bad guy, and then as you grow up, you're just like, this guy is a amazing performer.
Yes.
Not just in the ring, but his mic skills. I mean, The Rock and Stone Cold. I mean, I think that's why I have such a love for that Attitude Era is just because those two and the mic work that they did back in the day it still holds up. I watch it today. And I'm just like an hour and a half later, I'm like, what am I doing?
I'm stuck watching. But I mean, that's what's cool about Seth freaking Rollins. He's got that mic skills. Roman Reigns has gotten so much better. And then you got The Rock, who's the all-time legend. Those three, and Cody Rhodes is pretty good too. But the way I really respect Seth, the way he can paint a picture just with his talking, on the mic. I think personally, I think he's the best right. Well, The Rock's the best, but I think as far as all talent right now, I think Roman's the best on the mic. Tim, what do you got?
So it's funny you bring up Seth. Tyler and I, back in the day when people knew him as Tyler Black, used to go see him at the old fairgrounds in Dayton, Ohio for Ring of Honor shows. And at that point, you're like, man, this guy, someone catches on to this guy, something big's going to happen with him. You know what I mean? It was one of those things. He was in Age of the Fall at the time with Jimmy Jacobs. And it was like, this is going to be really like, this guy's got it. And you're like, he's got to go somewhere bigger than this, right? And now he's like, arguably the top worker in professional wrestling. So it's been awesome. Like, he's just my favorite worker. He's my favorite person to see live, the way he puts a match together. The Architect gimmick was such a fun thing, especially for that time frame, and how he really, like, you talk about Flair lived it. Rollins lived it in a healthier, more respectful way
Right.
of the Architect. So he's man, you say it, he's my number one for sure.
And I know you mentioned Ring of Honor. I think me and my brother went to go see a show before you went, and it was Tyler Black and Bryan Danielson at the semi-main event. that's kind of when I realized like he's something. He was really good. That was the semi-main event. The main event was what Chris Hero, Cassius Ohno, wherever he is now, and then Nigel McGuinness in a cage match. Ooh. That whole night was like my first ROH event. It was, and the first time I've ever seen a cage match live. It was something. It was really cool. It was a sight to see it in front of you. It was awesome.
I got a question here from Robert here. Is curious. Said, Ice, can we get these gentlemen's top 3 wrestlers of all time?
Oh gosh,
all time. That's all right. Yeah. For me, Flair's number 1. That's number 1. I put him at the top, and then it gets hard.
I need longer than 3 seconds to think of this.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's man.
I'll go 5. Because my top 3 are in no particular order, honestly. Flair, The Rock, Stone Cold, and then I would round out my top 5 with Macho Man and Ultimate Warrior.
Ooh. Okay.
I like the top 3. Yeah, Flair, Stone Cold. See, for me, you got to put Triple H up there too. Flair, Stone Cold, Rock. So where do you put Hogan at? Because I mean, if it, honestly, it wasn't for Hogan, we wouldn't be where we're at. So to me, you got to put him up there. Whether
he's on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he's on. He's got to be on there because, like I said, if you don't have Hulkamania, you don't have WrestleMania, you don't have any of this stuff. So he's got to be up there. Tebow, we got some. Tebow's got Cena, Stone Cold. Then the Undertaker. How can you see? This is when it gets. 3 is hard. I'm like,
yeah,
because the Undertaker had such a long run, and he's probably. I don't know anybody who doesn't like the Undertaker. If you have you
in some way, yeah.
No, yeah. But it was the same. I don't know. It was a lot of like for how little he spoke. He doesn't give me as many like out of ring memories as the other guys that I mentioned. Like,
right.
I liked the whole body of work, not just like matches. Because if I was going just on matches, I mean, I'd be talking Mankind, Shawn Michaels, and I mean, there's so many people that I love just what they did in the ring. Mm-hmm. But if I'm just thinking of like the people who brought me the most joy anytime they were on camera for any reason, that's my top 5.
Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good point. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the key to being the guy is getting people's to an emotional either upset or cheering for you just by talking. and The Rock can do that. Stone Cold can do that. Seth Rollins can do that. I mean, it's a unique skill that not everybody can do. Tyler, who are you?
So when was
it? Go ahead, Josh.
Oh, sorry, Tyler. Go ahead. No, Tyler, you answer first. Please. Sorry.
Okay. If I had more time to think about it, it might be a little more thought to it. But I will say, if I narrowed it down 1, 2, 3, definitely Owen Hart. I was always a big Owen Hart fan. My first son is named Owen because of that. Andre the Giant. If you see some of his when he's like, but kind of before WrestleMania 3, he's kind of immobile, kind of like basically a tank with broken treads. Unfortunately, like from the 60s and 70s, he could move. He was really good, and then. Just because I see him, Ravishing Rick Rude. I really like Ravishing Rick Rude.
I thought Andre the Giant was coming behind you. Like, oh crap!
Yeah.
Well, technically he is, but that's another story.
Tyler has a really cool. So that area there is this like bar area. It has a ton of really awesome like historic Andre the Giant memorabilia. It's really neat.
Nice.
Yeah. Real quick. If you can see it, some of it.
So
yeah.
So I was like you. When I was a kid, I was into it. I got out of it. Then when I was in college at NKU, I started working at the rec center, and all of my buddies were on board with the Monday Night Wars and the introduction of some of these guys. And so we ended up going to Panama City for spring break, and for when WCW was doing Nitro down there, and then some of my buddies got to be friends with. Glacier and ultimately Chris Canyon, and and so we became buddies with Canyon, and we stayed friends with him, and then sadly he passed away, and so our fantasy football league that I was mentioned earlier is called the Canyon Cup, and it consists of all of these people who were brought together in life through knowing Chris. So Shane Helms, the Hurricane, is in the league. He was actually last year's reigning champion. Yeah, he's become a very good friend of mine. A couple of the guys I mentioned from college. Yeah, the best. Just the best dude. Super funny. Another perfect example of somebody that did more than you could have imagined with like the body that they were given. Like he just, I mean, to be him and work his way up to being a tag team partner with The Rock is just like, I just have the most respect for him, and I just love him as a person. We have an indie wrestler named Luke Hawks, who's in the league out of New Orleans. You've probably seen him as a stuntman in a bunch of movies. Our personal favorite is he was in Logan, the Wolverine movie, and he was the guy that got Logan's fist right up to his chin, and then the claws came out the top of his head in the movie. Yeah. So we always share that picture with him anytime that we want to get under his skin of like, why
remember this
really happen?
Wasn't he Austin in Young Rock?
He is Austin in Young Rock. Yeah, that's exactly right.
It's a pretty good Stone Cold impersonation.
Yeah, he's dude. Luke's the best. And then we have three from the famous final deletion match. He's a buddy of ours that's in the league as well. So it's a fun way to honor Chris, and it's brought me back into wrestling to a degree, just because of some of the people become their friends with. When we were in college, man, our favorite thing to do that I would have never had appreciation for as a kid was to go to these events and just try to piss off as many people wherever we were, whether it was here or Louisville or Lexington. We went up to Detroit for King of the Ring.
You're trying to be a heel.
We were the heel fans. That's exactly right. So we would make signs that were just meant to piss off whatever city we were in, and we had
awesome.
Legendary signs. We were in Detroit for King of the Ring. We had a sign that said "Support foreign automakers." That was one of our signs. Hockey is fake. We kept referring to Joe Louis Arena as Rocky Marciano Arena. He's the guy that never knocked out Joe Louis. We were in Louisville. Yeah. Yes. We were in Louisville. This is probably my favorite, most obscure sign. We had a sign in Louisville that said "Easton makes a better bat," which is just
that's awesome.
Damn.
How many fights did you get in, Josh? Josh, how many fights did you get in?
We upset a lot of people. We had a sign that said Muhammad Ali has the shakes. Rest in peace to that guy. I'm telling you, in Louisville. Yeah.
Oh, dude.
Long live Lee's famous wrestling. Just the best. We got into an ECW show at Cincinnati Convention Center one time. We actually had a dry erase board, so we were able to just make up signs on the fly in the moment, which was pretty sick. But it just gave me a whole new appreciation for being a heel and what the heels do, because it was just so easy and fun to get under people's skin.
So do you ever do that in your comedy? Just become the heel comic?
No, I'm super babyface to come to doing stand-up shows. I want
Please
everyone to like me.
Please like me.
That's right.
So you're down in Sarasota right now doing a show, right?
Yeah, I got shows tonight through Saturday. And then next Tuesday, shameless plug, I have a new local show I'm doing in the Cincinnati area. It's at the Madison Theater in Covington. It's called Joke Gym. And it's comedians working on new material in front of a live audience. And then the other comedians give instant feedback on how to look at the joke a different way, or here's a tagline for it that maybe you hadn't thought of. And we did our first one in March, and it was a huge success. So we're doing it the first Tuesday of every month. We didn't do it this past Tuesday, obviously, because of the storm of biblical proportions that was gonna hit the city. So we moved it to this coming Tuesday. So if you're bored this Tuesday, come down to the Madison Theater in Covington.
That's what. Yeah,
8 o'clock.
Like I said, beginning of the show here, in 48 hours, we've had not 48, since Monday, we've had every weather you can have: sun, rain, snow, sleet, tornadoes. I mean, this has been a hell of a week.
Which is why, if you look at my comedy calendar, I was booked for March. I was booked in Phoenix, Vegas, and Sarasota. So
Smart man.
I
Get the hell out of here. Smart man there. Andrew said he had a sign that he had at in Tropicana Field said maybe better OJ.
Here's the thing. So that's very funny. Don't get
That's
me wrong.
good. That's really
Well,
good.
did like
so
12
funny.
people see it?
That's good. And it's not hurting anybody. That's great.
That was awesome.
I mean, unless you really, really, really like Tropicana.
But there was like probably 12 people there. It's Tropicana Field.
Yeah, that's yeah.
yeah, that's about it. Yeah, I've been,
I love when the wrestlers lean into the. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you.
No, you're good.
I just love when the wrestlers like lean into it too. When we went to WrestleMania in New Orleans, my buddy, it was for his second bachelor party. His first marriage didn't work out the way it was supposed to, and he didn't get a bachelor party his first time around. So we decided for his second time around, we were going to do it in WrestleMania for the week. And the whole time we were there, experiencing all of it, he and I were both just like, as a kid, WrestleMania was great, but the Rumble was our favorite pay-per-view. It was always my favorite pay-per-view. And so all it made us want to do was finally go to a Rumble. So just he and I, the following year, went out to Phoenix for the Rumble. And so we're sitting there, we're like 8 rows from the ring. We got awesome seats. And Elias comes out and sits down with his guitar. And so already I'm on board with him. I just think he's the best. And so he before he stops playing his guitar, and he gets out his phone and he just takes a panoramic shot and he saves it, and he goes, "Sorry, I just wanted to send it to the Diamondbacks so they could see what this place looks like when it's full." And I was like, "Bro, that is my guy. That is a great hit."
Yes.
What a great joke.
I liked the lines. I hated it when they made him cut his beard and be Ezekiel. I thought that was
Ezekiel.
That was
But
just,
they weren't the same person.
yeah.
Funny.
Oh yeah, my bad. I'm sorry.
True.
Sorry.
That's true. That is true.
It's so funny.
Oh my goodness. Let's see here. All right, here you go. Stranger Wants to Know. He says, "Please tell me you went to Philadelphia and had something to say about the Rocky statue." Did you have me for a Rocky?
I left that one to Bill Burr. That was Bill Burr's department. If you
Philadelphia
fan
incident?
of stand-up, yeah. If you haven't seen it, just Google Bill Burr Philadelphia rant, and no one can say anything else about that city after that. But a fun local tie-in to that was, I've known Bill for, probably 25 years at this point. And at that time, we were just getting started with the T-shirt company. And so he was going back to Philly to do shows for the first time after the incident. And he wanted us to come up with a T-shirt for him. So we made this awesome T-shirt that had his name and the date on the front left, and then the back, it was a picture of the Liberty Bell. And instead of the Declaration of Independence or whatever, it had Bill Burr's rant typed out on the Liberty Bell.
Oh wow!
And
Nice.
Wow.
yeah, it was an awesome shirt.
That is cool. So I do want to ask you, how did you get the idea? Well, or how did you get Sissy Shirts started? And how do you get away with some of the stuff you guys print out? Because some of the stuff you guys print, I'm like, can you really print that?
And you still the Joey Votto Macho Man shirt. I forgot to buy it, and I really need one.
Yeah, I'm probably sure we could make that happen. So when I first started doing stand-up, I met a lot of comedians that were a lot older, like late 60s, early 70s, that hated stand-up because it was the only thing they knew, right? They'd done it for so long. It took every relationship they ever had because they were on the road and gone. They were divorced. They didn't know their kids, all this stuff. And it just left a real impression on me because I was only 20 years old when I started doing stand-up. And so I knew at that point, even just getting started, that I never wanted to feel that way about stand-up, but to do that, I was going to have some other type of income that would make it so I didn't have to be on the road all the time to make a living. Mm-hmm. So at the time, funny T-shirts were a big deal. And a buddy of mine who had dabbled in stand-up, he went to Art Academy, entrepreneur minded, kind of like me. We decided we were going to do a t-shirt company and make funny t-shirts.
You had practice with your heel signs that you worked on in the
That's
wrestling.
Right.
So
yes, yeah. And I was doing stand up. I was like, I can figure out. It was all about pop culture references. It was like, Bushwood Country Club and I Love Lamp from Anchorman, that kind of stuff. That's what people were wearing, and so he did the designs, and then I would go promote the site when I was out on the road doing this. I'd wear my t-shirts to a radio station, and they'd be like, "Oh, that's a hilarious shirt," and I go, "Oh, actually, I make it. Here's the website," and that's kind of how we got started. Yeah. And we always had a little section on there. It was called "Look at Me" shirts. It was always a small nod to Cincinnati. We had like the first shirt that ever got us pressed just had text. You'll appreciate this. It said, "Even God hates the Steelers."
Yes,
that was the first shirt that we ever did that got us in the paper.
Josh, that's facts right there. Everybody knows it's facts. It is. That is facts. Yes. We all hate.
I stand by it.
Yes, exactly.
So we ended up having a little storefront in Dayton, Kentucky, and we would start to slowly build our local section. And I don't know if you guys are born and raised Cincy, but there was all these businesses that I remembered from when I was a kid.
Yes.
That
Swallens.
I loved the logo.
Yeah.
Johnny's Toys, Caddies, Mama's Cookies. I mean, all these places. And the problem was we were doing screen printing, so they had all these colors in it, and we just couldn't figure out a way to either print a ton of them and hope they sell. It just wasn't an option for us at that point. So once we finally got into the age of digital printing where we could do full color logos, one shirt at a time, that's when Cincy Shirts was born. And we were able to make a website, all of old vintage Cincinnati stuff, were places people remembered from growing up. But the problem was we couldn't do any stuff that was still in business. So it took a couple years. Montgomery Inn, to their credit, was the first one that actually reached out and understood what we were doing and said, why don't you start by printing some of our old logos that we don't use anymore? And then eventually we were doing their current stuff. And then Bloodline came on board, and we were doing all the old Cincinnati beer brands. The Cincinnati's let us do a bunch of bitch stuff, and then Fiona was born, and that took us to another level. FC Cincinnati got on board with us before they ever played their first match, so that we could do fan gear, and they took off right from the gate. So all those little like benchmark incidents for us led us to getting to like another level, culminating with the Super Bowl run the Bengals had a couple years ago, and then sadly what happened with DeMar Hamlin this year. But we've become known over time as like a brand that just represents the pulse of the city. Very proud of that, and the charity work that we've done, partnering with the Marvin Lewis Fund, the Reds Community Fund, Children's Hospital, Ronald, Dragonfly. I mean, there's so many that we've just been able to use this kind of machine we've built to grow together. And I think it's afforded us a little bit of leeway with certain people, because it's, we're getting to the point, I think, that like Saturday Night Live is at, where people don't sit there being made fun of as much as like I've reached a point where Saturday Night Live did a sketch about me. We want to be that for Cincinnati with shirts. Like, Cincy is going to do or say about this. And I think when you do that, there's an understanding that we're just relaying whatever people are talking about.
So what you're telling me is there's going to be a strawberry ice shirt coming out soon, what you're saying.
Next, hopefully by the end of the show, it'll be live. That's how quick we are.
If we go to Cincinnati businesses that aren't around anymore, we could do an HWA shirt.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
I love it. Dude. Yeah. I would love an HWA shirt. And I don't think people appreciate the dudes that came through here, even
Not
just
at
on
all,
rehab. Like Mark Jendrak was here forever, and Eddie Guerrero, after he had hurt his leg, he did his rehabbing here. There's just these guys, and they would show up at the comedy club, and I just thought it was the coolest thing ever. I've gotten friends with X-Pac. He spent a little bit of time in town, and then I don't know, were you guys at? This is one of my things I'm really proud of. Were you guys at the first Pillman Memorial Norwood Middle School?
No, I wanted to.
No, that was
to go.
yeah. That was kind of a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
there you go.
Yes. Oh.
It was so cool. Like it's like a weird badge of honor as a fan to be like, I was at that event, and it was Stone Cold and Sunny. They were the hosts, and they had a match for every level that Brian Pillman had ever wrestled in. So they had an OVW match, and then they had a ECW match. It was Chris Candido, rest in peace, and Al Snow. And then we had Chris Benoit versus Jericho was the main event. So rest in peace. But it was just like it was so small. There was like 200 people, and it was like to be there in the building and see kind of star power. Like that's like a benchmark
For sure.
wrestling moment for me.
So how old does it make you feel that Brian Pillman Jr. is wrestling now? He's king. What's his
King?
name? Yeah.
Lexus King. Yeah. Yep.
Which is a much better character than what he had in All Elite, I think. But
yeah. Oh, hold on.
I got to meet him in WrestleMania in New Orleans. He was set up at the WrestleCon, and I actually brought photos from that event. I brought a set for him, and I brought a set for Stone Cold because I got to meet and get autographs from Stone Cold at that event. And I
want to drink a beer with Stone Cold.
Look through all of them.
One of these days, I want to go to a bar with Stone Cold and just shut it down with him. I think that's got to be a bucket list thing of mine.
Gotta find out where Broken Skull Ranch is.
I feel like you'd pass out and he wouldn't be buzzed yet. So
right, probably not. So what do you got, Ty? You reached over to grab some. What do you got?
I like just how you're mentioning Brian Pillman and Lexus King. I won't say I know someone who actually kind of grew up with Brian Pillman Jr. and as a kind of a Christmas gift, he got me an autograph picture of him and a T-shirt of him, which was pretty cool. And so there's a picture of him, and he knows him. It's pretty cool that, and he got me like a picture of him. It was, just a nice gesture. It's really cool.
Yeah. Well, how cool is it that there's, I think, at least 3 Cincinnati guys that are known professional wrestlers. We have Andrew Dawkins, who's been on my show, part of the Street Profits, WWE. You got King, who's in NXT, and then you got Moxley, who's in All Elite.
Moxley.
Yeah, he used to be Dean Ambrose. I mean, how cool is that? I mean, to me, when they say from Cincinnati, Ohio, and they get
it's the coolest.
I'm like,
it's the
fuck
coolest
yeah, they are. Let's go, baby. I'm like, hell yeah.
I have this much, national credibility, right? But whenever I am able to do something that's on national television, my favorite part is them saying from Cincinnati, because as a kid, I remembered how cool it was whenever I would read that anybody that did anything famous was from Cincinnati. And I remember distinctly one time watching WCW or NWA probably at the time on a Saturday morning, and he came to the ring wearing a King Island t-shirt, and I lost my mind because I thought that was the coolest thing ever, that there was a wrestler wearing a King Island t-shirt and black and orange striped pants on national television.
Well, hopefully, Dawkins, when SmackDown's coming to Cincinnati here, I think the 28th of this month.
April, yeah.
Yeah, I got tickets. I'm going to get him a Jackpot Joey hat. He already wore a Bengal chain we gave to him last time he was there. He said he would wear the Jackpot Joey hat down to the ring. If he does, I'm going to freak the F out. I think that'd be so damn cool if he actually wears one of the hats I give him.
That's awesome. And I hate to correct you. You said Dawkins actually is, I don't know which night, but he is actually at Mania this year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, did I say he wasn't? Yeah, they're wrestling. Oh, yeah, they're wrestling. They're taking on huh? The Final Testament. Yes,
that was it.
Yeah, with Bobby Lashley. Yeah. If I said they weren't, yes, he is on Mania. Yeah, because I remember 2 years ago he took down the Monster Among Men in the Andre Giant Memorial. Took him down.
Yeah, that's right. I just saw that again recently. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. He was on my draft show last year. I asked him to come on this show today, but he said he's busy. I don't know what the hell he's doing. Why he's so busy?
Lazy. I know. Lazy. Freaking lazy.
Yeah, Dawkins, you're just lazy. Tyler said it. So when you see him next time, you can slap him, not me.
I don't live in the Northern Kentucky area. I live farther away from that.
I also want to. I think my buddy did a pair of shoes for Dawkins, but if you guys get a set, I'm going to give a plug to a friend of mine, but I think you guys will like it. If you go to the Instagram account, it's GOI Kicks. It stands for it's GOI Kicks. My buddy that kind of brought me back into wrestling, that's a mutual friend of Shane Helms, and he's located in Cincinnati. He does custom sneakers, and then through all of these connections in wrestling, he's done all these amazing pairs of custom shoes or custom shoes for wrestlers. And I think you guys will absolutely love it if you check it out. But he did shoes for Kofi. He did shoes that guys from DX wore during their Hall of Fame induction. Did a bunch of shoes for Edge and Matt Hardy. Anyways, I just wanted you guys to check it out.
Right.
That's cool.
That's awesome.
Dawkins. Yeah, there's a couple guys that they'll do. KB Art does it, which I think I'm going to get him to do me a pair of custom shoes for my birthday for Reds. You get the Nike all white Air Force Ones and send them to him or get them ordered and shipped to his house, and he'll design all kinds of stuff on there for you. So that's
how he started out, and then he ended up getting like the blueprint. Now I call him the cobbler because he actually cuts and sews leather and makes them custom now instead of just decorating a pair of existing shoes. But he did a pair for Rey Mysterio that are unbelievable, that Rey sent him a pair of tights and he incorporated the tights into the actual shoe.
Nice.
Oh, wow.
That is cool.
It's wild.
That's awesome.
Yeah, go check it out. You guys will be blown away. It's awesome.
All right.
One thing you brought up the when DX got into a Hall of Fame. I got the Hall of Fame tomorrow night. There's a lot of stuff to watch tomorrow night. How do you guys feel about the Hall of Fame induction? I'm honestly a little disappointed, to be honest. The only one that I'm really interested in seeing is probably Paul Heyman. I mean, the U.S. Express, I like the two individual wrestlers, but I don't remember the U.S. Express, to be honest. Tim, I'll let you go. What's your thoughts?
I mean, Paul Heyman, obviously, yeah, I'm excited about, but I'm actually stoked Muhammad Ali is getting it. I think he totally deserves it for not just WrestleMania 1, but obviously the stuff with Gorilla Monsoon, everything like that. Like, they're doing a double, Patel's doing a double action figure coming out soon of Ali and Monsoon together.
Really?
Called Tales of the Territory. It's going to be a really cool set. It's them, and there's another one. It's I think it's Harley Race and I can't remember who's with Harley Race, but it's a pretty cool set. So I think Ali getting in there is really cool. The Leah Maivia one's kind of neat for the sake that, Young Rock just came out, so people got to see her legacy a little more. Yeah, it's not the strongest class by any means.
They're running out of people. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Oh, there's plenty of people left. It just depends if they've pissed WWE off or if they've reached that point where they can be considered legends, more or less.
Right.
I know they're talking about Bray, it's possibly, but I think it's a little too soon. I thought they just stuck with U.S. Express. I was kind of surprised, but it's Mike Rotunda and Barry Windham, two people that actually are.
Well, individually they should be in. I don't ever remember them being called a U.S. Express. I don't remember that at all.
WrestleMania 1, and then right after was it? I think Barry Windham went to WCW. I think enjoying the Horsemen. That's what he ended up doing. I think I could be wrong. Somebody's probably going to correct me, but yeah, they weren't around very long during like the popular post WrestleMania period.
Well, when you get the Horsemen, you got to throw this up. Throw
the 4. Yep, there it is.
Exactly.
There it is.
The greatest faction ever.
You guys were talking about NWO earlier. When I first, like I said, that was like right when my late teens, early 20s. I actually had a vanity license plate that said "I'm NWO," and it was so fun because on the highway, people would come up next to me and they'd be like, "For life."
Exactly. Well, good. Tim, you gonna say something?
My daughter's 1, so she just turned 14 months. I got her. We're doing a WrestleMania party at my house this weekend. I got her an NWO onesie.
Nice. There you go. Hey, bringing it up right. All right, Robert's got a question here for WWF or WCW.
It's WWF.
WWF.
WCW had a great
Yeah.
2 years that is like untouchable, but we're still we're celebrating the 40th anniversary of WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I think I'm glad AEW is around. And I'm at first when AEW started, I'm like, oh, we're gonna get the Monday Night Wars again. But I'm actually kind of happy that they're not, because I think I'm afraid if they go after each other again, then one of them's going to go away.
Well, Cody Khan's tried, and it's failed.
Yeah,
really bad.
Yeah, so that's why I think it's good where he's kind of backed off and doing what they're the WCW or NWA of the 80s. That's kind of where they're at. That's kind of their niche.
That's disrespectful to WCW there, guys. Man.
They got some good.
Well, I mean,
good. Go ahead.
Well, I forgot where I was going with that. I'm sorry. Oh, basically, AEW's done a lot of good, and it's brought a lot of WWE back to kind of where it's motivation.
It's pushed them, I think.
Yes. It is. It's pushed them. Competition.
Yes.
It's raised the game of both people. Yeah.
And it makes you feel like somebody's never truly gone, right? I mean, like, who would have ever thought that for however much time Cody Rhodes would ever be back in
I
WWE,
didn't think he's coming back.
or that CM Punk would ever be back in WWE, like
that
to whatever degree.
Too. Yeah.
That's
also,
Oh, sorry.
I've heard AEW referred to as the Expendables of pro wrestling, and I've always thought that was very funny.
That's a great analogy.
Oh boy.
Tyler, you're gonna say something?
That's a great analogy.
That is an amazing analogy. I can't remember what it was. I'm very sorry.
That happens to me all the time. All right, I'll put this up here. We're getting 51 minutes into this. James wants to know who's winning the main event tag team Saturday night. I'll go first. I think the Bloodline's winning. I think they're going to set up so it's going to be Bloodline rules. Now, I've gone back and forth. I thought at the beginning of this, I thought Cody was going to win. But I don't know. After seeing that documentary with Roman and how good things are going and everything, I don't know. But the thing is, if Cody doesn't win it this time,
you can't do it again.
You can't do it again.
No.
So that's where I'm like, that's when I go back. That's when I go back to, I think Cody will win it. So, final, I think Bloodline's going to win Saturday. I think Cody wins Sunday. What do you got, Tim?
I'm the same way. This is, if you watch WWE on a weekly basis, I know, Josh, you said you're not necessarily in that point, but you are aware
we're bringing him back. Next time Josh's going to come on, he's going to have his face painted up and everything.
People may not like this, but Cody Rhodes' babyface level has gotten to the Austin point. It has gotten to the Rock point. It has gotten to the Cena point where he is like the dude.
They had girls crying. There were little girls crying because he was getting his ass beat.
You go to a show, they play his music. Everyone's singing along. Everyone does the pop. When the pyro pops up, everyone's going crazy. Like, he has reached that level. It is what it is. And he's done an incredible job, and he earned it in the way he did it. No one can tell the story he told. So yeah, it has to be now. It has to be. You can't do this 3 years running, right? Like, the way you had him go through, he loses to Roman and he goes through the Lesnar feud, and how he did a great job with that. He had the War Games match, did a great job with that. And then wins the Rumble again. You can't be like, it's not the Buffalo Bills. You can't discredit the Rumble by having the guy who won it lose 2 years in a row.
Right.
So, yeah, it's time.
And there's got to be some believability more or less. He has to win. It's one of those. You can't just keep. Yeah, you say you can't go a third year in a row. Even if you look at it from the fact that he's going to look weak as hell anyway. If he wins it like at SummerSlam, it's still going to look bad. The fact that he couldn't win it twice at WrestleMania. It would just be a bad look. And the positive response he's been getting, it'd be stupid to waste it.
Now, Josh, I know you're not all up on this as much as we are, but do you have a feeling which way we're going? Is Cody Rhodes, son of Dusty Rhodes? You got Roman Reigns, the cousin of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, and the Wild Samoans. That's the Bloodline. Which way you leaning there?
I don't have a bold prediction. Like mine's probably more personal related, but I'm pulling for Cody. I just feel like that dude puts in, like, he's just the consummate professional, and you can tell that wrestling and the pure joy of the injury, wherever he is in the moment, is like gets 100% of his effort. And I think that that deserves to be rewarded.
I agree. That's the
I
best
was on
way
a
to
flight with him, and he tweeted something like,
Oh, just you're on a flight with Dwayne Rock Johnson. No big deal. Yeah, just
"No,
throw that out to Josh.
I was in a restaurant with The Rock, but he owns one of my first T-shirts. That's a fun.
Oh, nice. There you go.
But Cody tweeted, "I will answer any questions people send me until this flight takes off and I have to turn my phone off." And I had seen him get on the flight, and I tweeted, "Will you say hi to me when we land? I'm on this flight too." And he said, "Come find me." And he was in first class and waited at the top of the ramp for me to get off the flight. And then we walked to baggage claim together. And the only time he stopped was to talk to a little kid in a wheelchair who knew who he was. And he heard that kid free tickets to the show.
That is awesome.
And I just was like, I love this guy. I want him to win the rest of his career, and no matter good or bad, I just like this person.
That is awesome, dude. That's a hell of a story.
And I'm going to SummerSlam, so he needs to be carrying the title at SummerSlam.
Where's SummerSlam at?
Cleveland.
Oh, that's right, it is. Oh, dude. Ooh, I might have to join you. I forgot. How the hell's Cleveland? We need to get some of this stuff here in Cincinnati, man. We need some of this stuff here. Screw Cleveland.
Yes, we do.
Cincinnati's a way better city than Cleveland is. Go ahead, Tyler, you say something?
Oh, I've been waiting for the Rumble since I was like 7. Seeing they're doing like all these large stadiums and everything, I don't think it's happening here. I mean, unless they do Paul Brown, it'd be kind of cool.
They do Paul Brown. Well,
that would be cool.
Well, that's the thing.
Not in January.
Yeah, not January. Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Right.
If they ever build a new arena like they were talking about, because the NHL commissioner talked about possibly Cincinnati getting NHL team, we got to get a new arena. But we got to get a new arena to get stuff like this. Hell, we got to get a new arena to get the NFL draft. The
NCAA tournament was this close.
Right. Well, they're redoing the Coliseum, the Convention Center. You get yourself a nice new arena. We got that. We got TQL Stadium. We got Paul Brown, or Paycor. You get a brand new indoor arena. Dude, we can start getting some of this stuff, I think.
Phil, Bob, let WWE rent the ballpark for a night, okay? Let's do this.
Exactly. Real quick, one question. I'll let you go, Josh. I know you got to get to your show. And I'll go around the table here with this. Does The Rock, does he turn on Roman Reigns? Is that the next storyline? Because Cody wins. This is where I think. Cody wins. Rock turns on Reigns. Rock and Reigns do a storyline, and Cody takes off the belt and has a storyline with somebody else.
I think people would like to see a Rock and Roman storyline for sure. Because, I don't know. I'm just... whenever I see Roman Reigns at this point, I'm just kind of like, I'm good. I'm all set. You know what I mean? Like, it just seems like it's the way it's like when you see Brock Lesnar get added to a card. You're like, really?
I got so tired
for
of
the love. It's just like, give me a little bit of, I really don't know who's going to win this. And that's what would keep me interested versus like the second you saw the Undertaker on a card outside of the Brock Lesnar. It's the second you saw him on the card, you're like, well, I know he's winning. You know what I mean? And it's just, I think what drew me was like, I don't know what's going to happen.
I'm with you on that. On that note, Josh, I'll let you go. I don't want you to be late for your show. Enjoy yourself down there in Sarasota. And, hey, come back on anytime you want, man. This has been fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. It's enjoyed talking.
I appreciate the invite, guys.
Yeah,
great to meet you all.
Nice to meet you, too. Awesome.
I'm very excited about the Strawberry Ice T-shirt that's coming out, too.
Yeah, we'll get to work on it right away. Oh, man. All right, New Day. Go Red.
New Day, brother. Go Red.
WO for life.
For life, baby. Woo! Oops.
Oh,
there you go. He clicked himself out. Well, he clicked himself out, and then I tried to click him out, and then I clicked Tyler out. Didn't mean to. All right, so real quick before we get out of here, I'll go with Tim. Do you think The Rock flips on Roman?
I do, but I don't think it's going to go the way people think it does.
Okay.
Just because they've really liked to do this with these storylines, right? Like, we thought Cody was winning Mania 39.
I was shocked he didn't. Yeah.
Right. So, like, I could definitely see a situation where it's like Cody somehow slips through the cracks and gets the pinfall. There's that rumor that Cena and Austin are going to show up and attack the Bloodline and help Cody out in the main event. Nothing's confirmed. I would love it, but
what about Dustin? What about Dustin coming?
You can't. I doubt. So the thing about
dude,
I'll answer your question in two different ways, here, Jeff. I apologize. First things first. the main event for night 2 cannot be just like your collar and elbow tie up.
Yeah.
It's the strength match. It has to be a fight. It
Yeah.
has to be a fight. So like, there's got to be a way that Cody somehow slips through the cracks and wins the fight. So I don't think in that case they're going to have Rock win. But that Raw after Mania, when they're starting a calendar for the next year, I could definitely see something where it's like Roman's like, you're supposed to have my back. We're family. Where were you? You let me down. And then that's when that starts up. Could it, I could even see something where it's like Rock's pissed off and Rock's like, fine, you and me at SummerSlam. And then Roman gets pissed off that he does that, and it builds it to them at Mania 41. So I do think there's going to be Rock Roman. It's just inevitable.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be just as simple as like Rock turns around, Rock bottoms him, because at that point it's like, why was he beating the hell out of him with a weight belt for 2 weeks?
Right. No, I like that line of thinking that they'll Cody will slip through the cracks, win it, and then on Monday or maybe SmackDown, maybe they see fraction, because I mean when they broke off Jey Uso, it wasn't instantaneous. It took a while to actually break him off. So I could slowly them drawing this out, which is what we want. You want the storyline, so you don't want it to be instantaneous. You want the storylines. You want to get into it, and so that makes more sense. I think. Go ahead, Tyler. What you got?
Basically, you kind of touched it up. The only thing I'll add is I think they will use this to build towards WrestleMania like next year, because if you remember, like I watched Young Rock. I know a lot of people did. They teased it like they're saying like it's a match made for WrestleMania, and I think because that they're going to hold that, and of course Rock being the board member, he's the boss. He's the boss basically. I think they're going to definitely push that off till next year's Mania.
So I think
I say it wouldn't be the first time that they did a whole year build up. I mean, Rock Cena, they headlined it back to back year, and the second time it was a whole year that led up to it. So I mean, they can do this with Rock and Roman for next year. Then I can totally see that happening.
I think too. I don't think obviously come Mania's over, there's obviously reports Rock shooting a movie. He's already signed for the insurance. But I don't think we're at that point now where it's like we'll only see him like every so often. No, he's not gonna be there every week, but like we're at the point now where Rock's probably gonna be around a lot more with the TKO stuff, with how much fun he's having, how vivid it is.
He keeps doing this.
And he's the best he's been since 2003. This is everything we've waited for. So,
the Hollywood Rock theme came back. I am stoked. I'm stoked.
Put in the video game. Come on, VH.
Yes. Come on, my God, yes.
How do you like the character, the final boss? I think it's perfect because he is a board member.
Good.
It's another way for him to transition into a different part, into this part of his wrestling career. He's the final boss. He's not he's still the private bull, but he's the final boss. He's in charge. He's larger in charge, and dude, I'm
long-term storytelling. Remember, he was in the corporation.
Yep, he was. Yep,
yeah,
yep.
And like you said, they've been built real quick. I know they kind of building up with. Yeah, Roman's the head of the table. He's been, but when you say final boss, that puts. So there's going to definitely be some conflict there. Or at least it's ready for it. So
exactly. So you don't think I'm getting Dusty or not Dustin in the Mania? You don't think
I wish, man.
Dude, that's what I want. I'm like, I'm the one that's so bad.
To be a WWE Hall of Famer.
Oh, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah, he's got to get the hell out of AEW. AEW is not doing anything with him. I mean, those throw him in a match every once in a while. It's like, dude. And the thing is, what I would like if Dustin does come back is be like Gold Dust the Natural or something like that. Not just be Gold Dust. Be Dustin Rhodes, but part of Gold Dust. Somehow morph that. So
it's funny you say that. So a couple this was like a few years before he left. WWE started bringing back Starrcade in December as like a house show event, like a special house show event. And the first one, he came out in Gold Dust gear with the robe. And then he flipped the robe off, and he was the Natural.
Nice. See that's stuff I'd like to see. That would be cool.
It'd be cool, but you got to remember he's in his 50s. We're running out of time on that.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's got to happen quick, and got to get him in the Hall of Fame. Now my son jumps in here, and he disappointed me here. He said, "Can't wait for Vince McMahon against the Undertaker."
We can't say that name anymore.
It's
exiled.
Yeah, you can't say. See the thing, my son doesn't even know. You can't say that name anymore, which was funny. That's what cracked me about CM Punk. He's like,
"Oh my God, yeah."
When crud.
Drew
said, I was the chosen one. Oh yeah? Who said that? What was his name? I was like, CM Punk don't give a F. He just says whatever, dude.
Oh yeah, he was awesome on Ariel Helwani's show the other day.
Oh, was he? I didn't see it. I got to see that one.
It's like 2 hours long. So like
Oh,
if you're
geez.
working, you just have your earbuds in. It's
Yeah.
worth listening to.
I'll have to check that out. Yeah, it was cool. Like that whole promo, CM Punk was not playing along at all. It was funny. Anyway, guys, I appreciate you. This has been fun. I cannot wait till tomorrow night. We got SmackDown. We got Hall of Fame. I'm going to go to the Reds game, so I probably have to watch this later. But I'm going to watch it. And then Saturday you got NXT, and then you got the Mania. It's 2 nights. It's going to be unbelievable. Plug some stuff before I let you go. Tyler, let you go first, man.
Well, basically, myself and Tim, it's been kind of on a little hiatus, but here soon we're going to restart our podcast, Wrestle Bar Madness, basically based around bar here, and we just kind of talking about just
Wrestling.
I mean, it really depends on what we want to talk about. It's just wrestling, and more wrestling than you can handle. Wrestling. I'm saying wrestling too much.
Wrestling, and more wrestling, and then wrestling some more, and then wrestling again.
Now you forgot one wrestling.
No, sorry. So
there you go. All right.
So that mean one of you guys going to jump off the top of the thing back behind you, jump off the top and go through a table?
I'm too old to do that.
This isn't Buffalo. Though the 3 of us might be just as good as that wide receiver room now.
Yeah, that's true. Oh God, I don't even get started on that. I don't know what they're doing. I'm happy they did what they did, but they're not making any damn sense anyway. Yeah. Guys, I appreciate it. Tyler, I have to get you on again sometime.
I'd be more than happy to come back on again.
Awesome, dude. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much.
See ya. Timmy, my boy. We're going to do a live broadcast down at the Moreline House again where everybody can hear us sometime.
Whenever you want me. Whenever you want me.
Dude, that was so much fun. We're going to do it for the playoffs. That's what me and Joey Carr said. When the Reds make the playoffs, we're going to do it then. And we're going to make sure that people can hear us. That would be a good thing.
It helps.
It helps. So we don't have to go, add the question to the trivia. Like, oh, we had to scream the trivia questions out. Anyway, it was fun. If you guys missed it, you should have saw it in person. It was better in person.
Yeah,
anyway.
It was a great time.
All right. Hey, you doing late night Reds? Not tonight, but tomorrow night? What do you got?
No, I'm actually, we took this weekend off for WrestleMania.
Okay.
Ben and I did. So Chad Dotson and Seth Sheen are filling in for us, but I am going to be on Riverfront Red Show for Friday.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Tim. This is fun.
Always, brother.
The one. Acknowledge me. See you, dude. All right, guys. Hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. I know it's a little different. We talk wrestling. We talk Bengals, Reds, Bearcats all the time. So I figured I'd talk some wrestling. We got WrestleMania going on. So I am excited about it. I hope you guys are excited about it as I am. Like I said, thanks for watching. It was I would be live streaming on ZTV, YouTube, where I got 2,520 subscribers, Facebook, X, Rumble, Twitch, and it'll be on the podcast later on tonight. It's on BeanPod, Apple iTunes, Spotify, Google, Stitcher Play, pretty much wherever you get your podcasts. Please make sure you rate, like, and review. If you're watching the show right now, please tweet it out, share it out, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. All the above, I would greatly appreciate it. And please check out my great sponsors, the great sponsors to my show. They are Meyer Door and Windows. For all your door and window needs, check them out there at www.meyercincy.com. And then the best barbecue joint in the city of Cincinnati, Midwest Best Barbecue. They're out there located on Ward's Corner exit. Make sure you check them out for some CTB wings, Uno wings, delicious chili, pulled pork sandwiches, anything and everything barbecue. And then my West Side peeps. If you have not been to Hail Mary's, it's your ticket to the game. Make sure you go check it out tomorrow night for the Reds game. They got beer specials, they got shots, all kinds of stuff. Giant ass TV screen. Make sure you check out Hail Mary's. I appreciate everybody who's been watching the show. Appreciate the comments. Appreciate the support. I will be back on tomorrow. Now tomorrow it's at 3:00 because, like I said, me and my son are going to go to the Reds game. Hopefully not freeze our asses off, but we're going to go there. But tomorrow it's going to be Icky Woods and one of his sons. I'm not sure which one's going to be on, so my apologies to the son who shows up. I don't want to say the wrong one because one of them's going to be on. I'm just not sure which one. So we're going to be on at 3:00 tomorrow. So make sure you guys check that out. 3:00 tomorrow, live, Icky Woods. Maybe we can do some videos, see who can do the best Icky shuffle. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see you tomorrow at 3:00. Throw it up, BWO, baby. Bengals World Order. And that's your sports, baby. See ya!